want to talk a little bit about video. I know there's a session later today on video, and video has been an incredibly exciting opportunity. I think it was about 4 years ago. I was, one of my favorite websites is ESPN.com, and I always find myself watching the highlights that maybe I missed the night before and consuming video on the web in those forms. So I thought it would be a logical thing to be able to extend video to what we do within our advertiser listings. But at the time, we knew it would be an important component, but we really didn't know all the ways that we'd be able to use it. And what's really been interesting is all the ways that video has developed over time. Once you have that content, once you build it, the flexibility you have as a property owner or a property manager or extending it to your advertising sources has really been dramatic. Our particular product, we branded Community Theater, and these are just a few statistics, but not lost on any of you is the incredible growth of video and viewing of video and time spent on video websites over the most recent years. And these numbers have grown exponentially even from when we launched video a little less than 4 years ago. So it's really been a tremendous thing for us. Like your online content, though, it's also important to extend the reach of your videos. So in addition to ForRent.com, we extend all of our video content to a number of sharing sites. YouTube obviously being the biggest, MetaCafe, Daily Motion. We have our own brand, appsvideo.com, Yahoo Video, Bing, and so on. So we're capturing prospects where they view video, not only on ForRent.com, but our YouTube channel being the close number 2 to where people are consuming apartment video. Again, not something I would have thought would happen. I didn't think people would be looking for apartment video other than on our site, but in fact they do. So the results that's generating, the traffic back into ForRent.com, the views of videos continue to escalate dramatically on a yearly basis. I mentioned we extended video to the homepage as a recent change. Again, geo-targeted to where a person is searching for. From a creative standpoint, that's been very successful. The other thing we've done is brought video to the search results. So not only can you view video within a listing, but from the search results themselves, you can view video without diving into the listing itself.
Rave Reviews, ForRent Media Solutions is raising the curtain on an even better community theater.
Apartment video never looked this good. ForRent Media Solutions is taking center stage and bringing you the most sought-after video product in the industry.
So I'm not going to make everybody look all the way through that. What I wanted to really showcase for you here, and again, I think it's important for your advertisers that have video. Not only do you want to have it in a prominent place and an efficient place for consumers to view it, but what we've done is taken the video player and put calls to action right in it. So as you can see here, from the video, a person can pause it, email, contact the property, get more information, or resume the video. And they have the ability to then fill out a guest card and communicate with the property. Efficiency for the consumer, and gives us the ability to report to the consumer that video itself is driving results, especially because we charge for that kind of placement and that kind of functionality. So to be able to actually have results to show for that effort has been really important. Again, that's a consumer can click on through to the listing and complete their guest card and their correspondence with the community independently, but be able to drive results from your video player is now easier than ever. And the next step really is also to be able to overlay ads from key accounts and so on in an unobtrusive way, but from a consumer-focused standpoint to meet the needs of the multitasking consumer. The things and the innovations you can do in video now are really pretty dramatic. From a results standpoint, and I know that's very tough to read, but I can just kind of highlight for you, we in the early days, video was intriguing and a curiosity, I think, for the consumers. Now we have enough data over a couple of years with which to show that our advertisers who have video in their listings generate between 15 and 30% more prospects than those that don't. And again, the data is really what's been critical for us to show. And today, just as a frame of reference, we have about 20,000 apartment community customers. And I think we have about 6,000 to 7,000 with video today. And I will say that of those 20,000, maybe not all are tremendous prospects for video. So from an addressable market standpoint, we probably have, I would bet maybe 60, 70% of our advertisers have video today. And growing. And growing. We've now got to the point where we package video into our overall internet packages. So rather than selling it as an a la carte product, which we did in the beginning, new advertisers can acquire it as just part of their package of advertising itself. So it's been a really wonderful addition on all fronts for us. Again, I want to just give you a little visual what that means. Now, granted, the numbers year over year are higher because our numbers of videos have grown, but I can tell you that the results are substantially higher, the pace is substantially higher than we are growing in actual video customers. So very dramatic 2009 to 2011 results from a video view standpoint. Which leads me to mobile. Again, mobile is an area that as recently as 3 years ago, we were barely immersed in. We knew that mobile was a place to be as more and more folks were carrying around mobile devices or smartphones. The ability for consumers to interact with our content on forrent.com in an efficient and effective mobile way was going to be important. And there's no denying the benefits of the mobile presence. First things consumers check when they wake up. In fact, my mobile device is what woke me up this morning because I use it as an alarm clock now. I'm realizing that I'm tied to it in that regard. 1 in 5 adults in the U.S., and I'm quite confident probably the same here in Canada, are using mobile commerce, and that number is growing. Incidentally, how many of you have seen the commercial? I'm still fascinated by this. It's a newlywed couple, and they're opening all their checks from their reception, and they're pulling them out, and he's just scanning them with his device and depositing them into his bank account. I find that remarkable that really happens, but mobile commerce is here, and it's here to stay, and only going to escalate. It engages the consumer because it's permission-based. The consumer with a mobile device that's reaching out for your content is essentially in a permission-based atmosphere and is looking for it. It's a call-to-action platform, and I think when I show you some of the results that we've done within mobile, you'll see that. And with arm's reach, 80% of the day, 80% might even be light for some of us, I'm sure. So smartphones are now 37% of the U.S. cell phone market, and I did a little research. That number is on par here with Canada as well. That's the breakdown in the U.S. So what we've done is tried to extend the reach of our content, not only to our mobile site, our forrent.com mobile site, but to all the devices that are out there as well. Apple, Windows, BlackBerry, Android. And so we've deployed applications across the entire suite of smartphone devices today in a way that's really pretty effective. Now, what is interesting about that is we've done that. We include the reach of our content to all of our mobile devices and our mobile site for our advertisers as part of their advertising itself. We've put together very slick things like this iPad application. If you haven't seen the Forrent iPad application, it's very cool and intuitive. We've extended the reach of our Spanish content to mobile as well for those who wish to search that way. But I think what's really interesting is, despite deploying all the applications across all the devices, still 50% of the traffic to our mobile site originates from an Apple device, meaning people aren't really downloading applications to search for their next apartment home. They're just going and searching on a mobile browser. So we enjoy the fact that we can check the box and say we've got all the applications deployed. But most importantly, having a mobile site, whether you're an internet listing service or you're a portfolio or a apartment owner or manager, being able to have your content readily accessible for consumers in a mobile environment is very important. And I think this will tell you why. This is unique visitor growth to all of our mobile content, again, a year-over-year basis. And if you look at that line for 2011, the light green lines, and you kind of see that trend, that's where we are today. You can imagine where that's going to be over the next 2 or 3 years. It's only going to continue to escalate. And from a measurement standpoint, while it's important to show you that we generate a bunch of traffic from a mobile standpoint, this is the real barometer for where I think mobile is going. Guest cards, again, what you may have a different name for, but it's people filling out a contact form because they're interested in the community. That's the kind of growth we've seen year over year since we implemented mobile in early of 2009. The results are dramatic and only going to continue to escalate. So a lot of the advancements we're making from a technology standpoint, from a extending the reach of content standpoint, are happening in the mobile environment. And so how are we going to do that? Well, there's a couple of things. What's happening now is, I told you the story earlier how we started as a publication, and then we became forrent.com, and your ad was on forrent.com as part of your publication. Now the internet is the leader from a sales and revenue standpoint. Well, now we're extending the same technology we've done on the web, things like feature properties. We happen to call it mobile select properties, but feature properties, geo-targeted video, all those same features and functionalities we're doing online, we're now extending to our mobile environment as well. And where mobile is today included as part of an advertising source, we're creating key placement opportunities for advertisers that want to reach the mobile consumer. So a real interesting trend, and we've now got the results. Again, part of the key is having the data and the results to show where consumers are interacting with your content in order to drive opportunities.